Diversity, diversity, diversity. How can one deny the diversity? It's complicated. It's a rich tapestry of details. There are attributes, characteristics, and features. There are separate differences, distinguished distinctions. It is a multifaceted, multilingual, multicultural buffet. There are many ideas to consider, choices to make, and tasks to be done. These are the desperate cries of separatists, detail mongers, and the junkies of meaning. And what are they so desperately trying to avoid? Nothingness, the ultimate nightmare of the propagators of fragmentation. Anything but that. It's not familiar, it's not exclusive, it's too impersonal. Won't you please remain distracted? You have been provided access to enough overcomplication, otherization, separation, and diversification to keep you busy for a lifetime. So what's your problem? So make some relative subjective distinctions, assign some meaning, think about it, and then cling to what is comfortable and familiar. It can't just be nothing. It just can't be. It has to be something, anything, but not nothing. Because if it's nothing, then that means that all the thoughts, beliefs, faiths, proofs, facts, laws, moralities, opinions, judgments, discriminations, narratives, attachments, arguments, inventions, identifications, associations, theories, hypotheses, predictions, investments, meanings, and personalized familiarities are all just a bunch of made-up crap. And the prospect of this would be just too much to take, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would. We'd much rather it be something we are comfortable and familiar with. Otherwise, it would be too much like a dream. And this won't do because dreams are not real. And we like to think of ourselves as real, don't we? And what exactly makes it real? The fact that we can interact with other creatures in an environment. The fact that we can perform tests and experiments. The fact that we can see our reflection in a mirror? Yeah, you sure can't do any of those things in a dream, can you? But what do all these activities share in common? Are they not all aspects of experience? If so, then they cannot indeed have any kind of context, meaning, function, value, or existence outside of experience. We only know these things to be for sure relative to experience. This is established and proven through the medium of experience. So if you say otherwise, that these things exist outside of experience, then the burden of proof is on you. For you are the one asserting that which is not established and proven within experience. But there's no way for you to prove it because you cannot step outside of experience to verify if anything is present in the absence of experience. Or can you? Perhaps you could, but it wouldn't entail a step outside, but more of a step inside. But if we follow what's inside, it becomes abundantly clear through direct empirical experience that there really is no such thing as inside or outside. And if we subtract experience, the only thing that's left is total pure awareness. And sorry to disappoint you, but the total pure awareness that is discovered upon returning to the source is not Yahweh, not Allah, not Jehovah, not Jesus, not Krishna, or any other God that has been named, identified, and assigned attributes by man, but rather an all-encompassing, ever-present, infinite, eternal, formless force of pure spiritual essence. It can be called nothingness because it resembles nothing from within our universal contextualization, and therefore there is nothing familiar that we can attribute to it. And since it is completely wide open, featureless, impersonal, and formless, this leaves man free to personalize it in any way he chooses, based on his own subjective discriminating prejudices. So is it any wonder how God has become assigned gender, race, morality, and attributes that just so happen to reflect the cultures of man that is defining it? Is it just a coincidence? Or is it blatantly obvious that man is vainly projecting himself onto the pure essence and then righteously exalting this projection as the absolute true nature of God? It is an ultimate example of mankind's impassioned need for self-validation. Unfortunately, the pure essence is none of the things mankind so desperately wants it to be. All the rich diversity of man in the universe is but a projection from the imagination of the pure essence. So it is kind of humorous how man, the reflection of this projection, tries to project the reflection back onto that which is projecting it. It's kind of like a character in a dream insisting that the one who is dreaming the dream can be defined by the dream content. Do you feel that you can be defined by your dreams? If so, then how exactly are you defining yourself based on a content that is so varying and diverse that it could never be categorized? Perhaps you could say that you are everything. Okay, so you're getting warmer. And so how does this define the one who is dreaming? The everything of dreams are a product of the imagination. So wouldn't this indicate that the one who is dreaming could be defined by imagination? If so, then there really isn't any such thing as the one who is dreaming. There is but an awareness of an experience of imagination. So wow, you've just found out what you are. Can you be content with this without succumbing to the temptation of assigning labels, attributes, features, and characteristics? Can you resist the tendency of projecting relative subjective distinctions of meaning and narrative based on familiar associations of a discriminating limited frame of reference in an attempt to establish an absolute definition of personalized bias? If so, then perhaps you will arrive to the nowhere that is the somewhere of your being. Then you will understand what can't be understood with the tool of understanding. You will finally reach the unreachable only to find there is nowhere to reach. Now, is it arrogant for one to recognize that they are a part of the oneness, that they are, in effect, everything that is? It can be, but only if one holds on to the idea of a self and thinks that this self is a part of a larger system. We should remember that we are not a part. At all times, you are always one. You are the essence. But more importantly, there is no you, no self, and no others. There is only ever an awareness that imagines a self and others. Is the clarity of this too difficult to grasp? That you are not that which is being imagined, but that which is imagining it? If not, then it can also be clearly seen that it's not a matter of qualifying or casting judgment on the content of an imagination. This is what man does in the delusion of separation. Pure essence has no judgment, nor any position that could be called superior to that which it imagines. Just as you are not superior to your dreams, are you? When one is watching a movie, is there any need for one to establish a distinction of superiority to the movie? A person may feel one way or another about a particular dream or a particular movie, but this is but a subjective interpretation and by no means absolute. And, of course, these distinctions only apply to the content, not to the mediums of dream and film. If there actually is anyone who feels the need to recognize some kind of superiority to dreams or a film and cast judgments on the actual mediums of dreaming and filmmaking, then it is definitely an indication of extreme delusion, something you would only find in the realm of fanatical fundamentalist radicalism. Mankind is just the workings of an imagination, nothing else. Pure essence is aware of the experiences of this imagination, but that's it. There is nothing substantial to cast judgments on. So therefore mankind is not lowly, sinful, degraded, base, or in need of any salvation from anything. These are only the distinctions of mankind in delusion, reflecting on his own reflection, and have nothing to do with the pure essence from whence he came. So when you get right down to it, all the pains, hardships, conflicts, strife, dissatisfaction, and suffering are all really self-imposed consequences of insistently clinging to that which man is not. And the trade-off for this is an idea of a self, that which cannot be justified without the illusion of separation. And while true that man has forgotten and is unaware of his pure essence, deep down much of the forgetfulness and unawareness is willful and deliberate. For the ultimate attachment has become the mistaken identification with this imagined egoic idea of a self. This is the root cause of all man's conflicts, battles, trials, and tribulations. The fight to prove the existence of this imagined ego and show just how important it is. And this is why man loves to lose himself in diversity and project his familiar attachments that reinforce himself onto everything, known and unknown. This is what puts a face on nothingness, that which is faceless. When we refer to total pure awareness as a formless nothingness, we are only doing the best that we can with the tool of language to name the nameless. The substance of nothingness cannot be named, for it is unlike anything named. The closest man can come is to say that it is empty space. But it is not even empty space, for even empty space is something. Even emptiness is a distinction of quality and state of being. And while true that you need empty space in order for there to be content, you also need nothingness in order for there to be empty space. Now, just because the pure essence cannot be defined by any of the diverse content that man is immersed in does not discount the pure essence or the diverse content in the slightest bit. Man has no problem with the diverse content being so defined and complex. So why does he have a problem with the pure essence being so undefinable and simple? You cannot make pure essence into anything familiar or nameable, but from the pure essence comes all that which we have named and are familiar with. Really examine why you are not okay with this, because it's something you really need to come to terms with. The pure essence is impersonal. But this doesn't mean that you cannot become intimate with it. But this intimacy is not love, affection, friendship, or a worship situation. It is simply raw experiential knowing. Pure essence won't come to you, nor will it meet you halfway. You must cross the bridge to pure essence and become one with it by stripping away the complexity of your being all the way down until there is nothing left. If you can do this, then you will know pure essence, because you will be pure essence. The nothingness of pure essence is, and because it is, that diverse everything manifests. The pure essence lies beyond all worlds, stars, galaxies, universes, multiverses, dimensions, and emptiness. It has no name, attributes, features, personality, narrative, time, location, law, content, or context. But nevertheless, it is always there, forever imagining, forever dreaming, forever producing a stream of details that cannot define it. And all of this is just fine. Only man is not fine with it. But it's understandable, for man naturally fears the unknown and feels most comfortable in a haven of familiarity. This is why a man that is a true explorer of the unknown is a man that is ready to transcend being a man. They do not cling to the familiar, nor fear the unknown. They are bold, full of abandon, and dive head first into the unknown, not concerned with any change, contextualized transformation, or death that may occur as a result. They do not mourn what they may be leaving behind, nor covet what may lie ahead. They are simply explorers of pure spirit on a never-ending journey through the imaginary dreams of life and death and everything in between. Above and below it, before it and beyond it. An awareness that is aware that it is an awareness, aware of an awareness of an experience of imagination. Are you aware of this? If not, then take a first step by being aware of your unawareness. If you become aware of your unawareness, then you will become aware of your unawareness of awareness. You can then become aware of awareness. And from here, it will simply be a matter of being aware of what is aware of the awareness of awareness of an awareness of an awareness. If one is aware that they are awareness, what else is there to be aware of outside of this awareness? That is the question.